Hi there, Chip. It's Musical Aviator here. We haven't done one of these for a while. Last time we did it, we left off at Strahan. We left off at Bruny Island. So that's where we are today. We're going to Strahan. Firstly, though, we're going to do a pickup at Bathurst Harbour. Taking the Cessna 172 out. I think it may be one of the last. One of the last goes at the 172 before we move off to another aircraft type. Probably at Strahan. I'm intending to maybe go over to the Just Flight Piper Arrow, something like that. Anyhow, today we're going to be flying this Charlie Foxtrot India. Just about to jump online. There we go. How are you all today? Down here in Melbourne, I spent all day at home because my office decided that going to work and wearing masks for 8 hours, not the best plan. And I agree. So YBYI is where we're coming out of, and we're heading down to, eventually, YSRN. Gonna chuck in a few of these localities. PDV, that's Port Davey, and STRA, Strathgordon. Going to be at 5,500 maximum. Speed of about 110. Just picking up a file here so I can file the flight plan properly into Vatsim. Should have done that before I logged in. Got per A and a VHCFI. There we go. Cool. No ATC down here today, so just looking at the weather. This is just wind. So we're in this grid here. We'll be starting off with 38. 38 knot winds at 1,000 feet, 43 knots at 2,000, 47. Yeah, that's pretty windy. See Bathurst Harbour there. So we're on flight plan 1 coming out of Bruny. We're on a variation of 15 degrees. As you can see there, 15.5 really. 15 by them. Coming out of Bruny Island, we're tracking down south across the Great Taylor's Bay. Then continuing down to Southport Lagoon to Whale Head, which I've written here as a whale. From there it's Prion. Chucked in South Cap, and then Prion Bay, which is this thing here, and Louisa Island, and from Louisa Island we're going to track into the Cox's Bight, and then down to Bruny, Bathurst Harbour. We'll come to a stop at Bathurst Harbour, and then without refueling, because there's no refueling down there, we'll head straight up to Strahan. To get to Strahan, the intention is to take off from Bathurst Harbour, track up to the harbour itself, then fly along this stretch into Port Davey, then we'll continue on Davey River until we come into this valley here, and we'll track straight ahead into Gordon River, which is near Strathgordon here. Probably do an orbit between the dam and Strathgordon, and then we'll pop down to Strahan via Macquarie Harbour. Macquarie Harbour is where the large number of whales beached themselves last year. Anyhow, let's get on board. The scenery has been upgraded. You can see the link to that below. It's just a simple file that you download and then throw into your community folder. Make sure you extract it out of the zip file first. Time to get in. Okay, all my switches are down. That's looking okay. Happy with that. Let's assume we've done the walk around, so clear prop. Aircraft is clearly cold because it hasn't moved for like 3 months. So that goes on. Waits for some fuel pressure. Then off again. Hello Lachlan, how you doing? Hope you're well. How's school going? I know you guys going back tomorrow. Because my group ain't for a while. Alright, let's start a prop. Into both. Clear prop. Ever had that feeling that you might have chucked that there? Yes. Keys set to both. Down to 1000 RPM. Let's get the AVAX on. Pop in some lights, beacons on, nav lights are on. We'll leave the rest of them off for the moment. And we'll probably need the pitot. Let's turn some lights on. Oh, I've got the autopilot going. Why do I have the autopilot going? How's that going? I'm stuck on autopilot. ETA for Strahan should be in about 2 hours time, but I'm just going to need to figure out why this autopilot is not coming off, or why it was on in the first place. Missing something. Controls. There's an autopilot control stuck on at the moment. It's probably on this. course, heading master. Let's just do that for now. Come on, it's in roll mode. So what's on? Just trying to see what button would be on. VS apparently. Without changing anything. No, I can't disconnect the VS. Why is that? Good one, Lachlan. That's worked. So apparently I've got a sticky vertical speed button on my yoke. On my throttle quadrants, I should say. Which probably means I can reassign that. Autopilot master, was it? Yes, it is. Test. That worked. Okay. Let's get the trim back into some semblance of normality. Trim set. Okay. Well, that was somewhat annoying. Bruny Island, we've got wind from the west. Should be runway 32. We'll take off, do a couple of left-hand turns. Bruny Unicom on 126.7. Time is 35. Bruny Island, after departure, heading 216. Let's check our current heading. Just off north, correct, and then 216. Right there. Do we need this, or should we just fly it without the GPS? I reckon we can fly it. Dead reckoning. Once we are airborne, we can probably worry about stuff then. Parking brake is clearly set, so let's get that off and have a chat to the guys on CTAF. Traffic Bruny Island. Charlie Foxtrot India is a Cessna 172 on the apron. We'll be taxiing into runway 32 to backtrack. Yeah, speaking of A2A, they've been a bit slow to the party here at Microsoft Flight Sim. It'd be nice to see them release something for this sim. Even if it's a 172, I'd suggest maybe something a bit more interesting than a 172, given this exists. My suggestion would be either a 182 or a Piper Comanche of some sort. Maybe the Cherokee. Although they are releasing that twin-engine aircraft for P3D, so maybe they could go for that in both sims. They've been rather quiet over there at strobes on, taxi lights on. Been quiet over at A2A for far too long. That's 216 for, was it 15 minutes? Be a little less than that. So that's at 80 knots, and we're going to climb at 80 knots, but once we get to, what was it, 4,000? Yeah, 4,500, we will be accelerating. That's okay, we can do the timing off the island. Shouldn't be too bad. I have a feeling I should turn into the wind rather than away from it. Bruny Island traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India departing runway 32, departure left hand downwind. Before we blast off, lights are set, mixture rich, fuel pump is on. And I'll go flaps 10. Briefing is 65 knots. At 65 knots we'll rotate, then accelerate to 75. 75 will be our climb out speed. V1 is the rotation point. And just be a second. That was Mum calling for the about 10th time today. Let's go. Getting light on the feet, there she goes. $70, $75, flaps coming up. Time was 41. $80 knots for the climb. Getting bounced around quite a bit because of all this wind. Gotta love that tiny bit of land here, joining the south to the north side of the island. Gotta say the 172 hasn't been too bad for these flights. Let's pull on back on the mixture. I am looking forward to jumping into the Just Flight Piper Arrow. Might do that on the weekend actually. So Lachlan, the expected time of arrival into Strahan, about 8 o'clock, something like that. Depends if we get lost. So according to the 80 knot climb out, we'll be there at time 55, current time 45, 10 minutes out. Keep on turning left slightly. Have to keep an eye on that one. Yeah, those clouds are a little bit lower than I really want them to be, so we're going to have to cut our climb for the moment. Get down to about 2005, I think. Standing to trim forward as we accelerate now. Oh, the Medio? Yeah, it's been like 2, maybe even nearly 3 months since the last GA. Sorry about abandoning it for a while, but I went back to working in the office and didn't have any time, and today I'm back into working at home because Melbourne's got 15 cases and it keeps growing every day. 6 more today than yesterday. Here we are, 2,500. I think that'll be okay for now. For this bit of the trip up to Bathurst Harbour, we're pretty much just staying offside the coast. Very windy out here, as we saw in the forecast. I think it was like 30 something knots. I have to look at it over there. 43 knots of crosswind. So we're getting quite a bit of turbulence coming off that jagged terrain over there. Hello Tim, how you doing? Good to see you. So there's apparently a update to Flight Sim over the last couple of days. And it's given us all TCAS. So next time we take out the Airbus, it'll have a proper TCAS running. So we're just aiming at this little gap between Bruny Island, the south end of Bruny Island, and Partridge Island, which is this little bit, tiny little island off the coast. That one there. It's clearing up a bit. Not like in down south though, that's not clearing up a bit. Yeah, your type of work. To be honest, being at home when you're already like, I'm about to finish work in 2 minutes, that means I have to pack up? No I don't, because I'm already at home. Probably won't last for more than a week or two, but you know. Also have to apply for a new job. Technically, the project I'm working on now was meant to finish on Friday, but because of various shenanigans that have gone on, you might have heard about in the news, they're keeping the team on until August. But I do see that there's another position that's opened up in NBN, so I'm just going to apply for that. See if I get that. They spent all last week trying to set me up with profiles and stuff, because I've slightly changed role, and it took them a week for the IT stuff to come through, and then the very day it's like, yay, you can start working, and then they was like, oh, you're going home. So I think I had 1 day of that IT stuff being useful. Anyway, I've got a work laptop now, which I didn't need to use today because I'm working at home with these 3 screens going. Yep. Get a few flights under the belt while I can. Melbourne's not really in lockdown, but you know, functionally we kind of are. I was meant to be going to New South Wales next month. Hopefully that still happens and they don't lock me out. And I'll probably have to go down and get a COVID test to prove that I can go to New South Wales and not spread the virus everywhere. Okay. Let's have a look at this instrument and get ourselves a correct readout here. So it's 2 degrees Celsius, airspeed calibration to 2, around at 2,000 feet, so that should be alright. I'm showing 110, 111, yeah, call 111. Ah, nice, Chris. Yes, we used to be able to go over there. Then your PM went and shut the border for us again. And there's one case of Corona, they're shutting the border. Yeah, it's 2300, just going to push it up a little bit, 2350. Don't want to overcook it too much, but I don't want to be going slow either. Getting close to 115. Time is 53. So I've got 2 minutes to get over to Partridge Island, which is this thing here. I can see it just below us, and I reckon we'll be there in about 2 minutes. Which means we're going to be on time. While I have time, I'm going to just lean out the mixture a touch. I heard the engine start struggling there. It lost maybe 200 RPM. I'm just going to enrich it ever so slightly, get those 200 back. I can hear it. There we go. We're at peak. And then like one click of richness there. Partridge Island. I believe straight ahead almost is Southport Lagoon. Southport Township would be here, and the lagoon is this big thing down south. So we continue on. We could probably jump into shore a little bit, mostly because if we do end up losing the engine, we want to be high and fast and have enough space to glide. And to achieve that, I'm just going to go to maximum power and pull up slightly. Let's get up to 4,000. $2,500 RPM. We're in a climb, just going to keep that going up to about 80 knots. That's fine. Basically there's this new booking app which was released this month to the technicians, last month really, and it's horrific. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that application. It's just horrific to use, both on the office end and the technician end, and it's literally affecting productivity. They can't work as fast because they have this application that they need to work through. That's like, I've done the physical connecting bit of the job. I've dug a trench, I've put some wires in there, I've attached a modem and an NTD, and then I have to tell NBN that it's there so they can connect it to the network. In the old days there was like this old application, there were two applications that they used to do at the same time. One to take photos and one to request the ping from the servers. And that would take maybe 10-15 minutes to work out. The new one's taking hours, and if they need to reject the job for any reason, for instance if the ping has been tested as being too slow and they need to come back again another day to sort it out, it essentially locks them out and they can't do any more work for the rest of the day until the office staff do something about it. And that doing of a thing just is quite difficult to do, and it's just horrible. So the technicians had a bit of whinge about it, as they do. Had a bit of a whinge while blocking off a street in Sydney and yelling and holding up signs. Some might call that a protest. And then a bunch of staff that were going to be let go because they didn't need them anymore aren't going to be let go because the app is so hard to use that they just need more people there to work it. Fun. There's other things going on as well. Subcontractors and delivery partners. Boring, you know, business stuff. Yes, I've had several goes in a 737 sim, Chris. And a few different 737 sims. There's one that's not far from Hobart, Cambridge Airport. Had a go at that one. There's one up in Caves Beach. Had a couple of goes at that one. And there's one in Geelong. Had a go at that one as well. And one up in, where is it? Kyneton? Something like that. .737s are a bit of a dime a dozen, let's put it that way. One of the more boring aircraft. If I had a sim, it'd be an Airbus A330. Oh, that'd be nice. Do a bit more 737 sim tourism. I'll have to, yeah, check out your details there. Because I do intend to come over to New Zealand one day. I have some family in the North Island. Mostly Auckland, but a little bit of Waihi Beach as well. Okay, 55 was done. Didn't do this, but it's in 1 minute to Southport Lagoon. We're nearly there. And next point is Whale Point, which will be 8 minutes past the hour. Ah, you're way down Dunedin. Yeah, I probably need to do the South Island one of these days. Literally never been. So here's our waypoint that we're looking for at the current minute. We have passed it. Next is Whale Point, which is this one here coming up. Then we make a fairly distinctive turn. So it should be at 190 at the moment, then 222 after that. Checking the wet compass. 90, 95. Yep, that concurs. .8 minutes. Okay. Was fun using the actual real clock to do your navigation by. See a little inlet down there, which is what's it? There's a whale lookout. Cockle Creek, that's the one. So that there is Cockle Creek, and the southernmost road in Tasmania, in Australia, happens to come to about there. There's a little campsite and caravan park down here. There's a bridge across Cockle Creek, and then there's a whale lookout here and there. And after that, it's just walking tracks. So we're about to enter the places where cars dare not go. Can't drive past there. Cockle Creek. Cockle Creek and Mott's Beach. Hello to Rossi QA. Snapchat just snapped. The most southern road in Tasmania. Yeah, life jacket on for that bit. Not blown up, of course, just strapped on to your waist, not over the top. These clouds aren't looking friendly. That's why I'm down at 2,000 feet. I would have loved to be at like 5,000. 4,500 on this leg. But can't get up that high. Not VFR anyway. Only about 2,400 RPM. Five minutes. It'll be 3 minutes at Whale Point, which is this one here. The southern tip. Southernmost tip of Tassie coming up. That's a walking track. That, you can see it kind of just fizzes out. If you want to come down south like this, you probably want to be in a boat. Southeast Cape. South Cape Bay there. I think it arrived 1 minute early. Yeah, we're over Whale now. 7. Call that 4. That'll be 10. Makes the rest of that pretty easy. 4 degrees when you get down to 1,500 feet. 4. Pretty cold. I thought I'd change the time. I had. Okay, it's just... hopefully we can get to our destination quick enough. So, yeah, it'll be fine. Sunset in about an hour. And we'll land at Bathurst Harbour. Once we're down there, we'll shut it down and spend the night in a couple of seconds. Then head on up to Strahan for the next bit. So next one we're looking for is South Cape, which is that one there, other side of the bay. We'll get there at 10, 2 minutes ago. That's South Cape here. Head back up to 2,000. It's fun when you see the tops of mountains hidden in the clouds there. I had the feeling that when I adjusted the clock so it was 1 PM, that'd be enough. 3 PM and the sun's setting. Well, it's hidden behind clouds anyway. So time is 10 now, 18 to Louisa Island, which I can already see. Louisa Island is directly north of De Witt, and De Witt is the big one with a mountain on it. All wilderness down here. No towns, no civilization, no roads. If you want to move around that land, that's what you got feet for. Feet and shoes. If you look at a lot of the places down here by place name and chuck that name into YouTube, you're probably likely to find people in boats fishing off here. So the area Research Bay, called Research Bay Nature Recreation Area, between well, all that land that we've just flown over up to the point of that last bay there. Named after a French ship called the Research, R-E-C-H-E-R-C-H-E. That ship was snooping around Tasmania about the same time Bass and Flinders were down here in the Tom Thumb boat, trying to circumnavigate the entire continent of Australia, and recently discovered that the Bass Strait was not attached to the rest of Australia. Like on that journey. And with the French snooping around Tasmania, which would have been called Van Diemen's Land by then, It was generally a good idea to beat the French to there, otherwise the French had claimed the place, and Tasmania would be an independent colony that spoke French. So they quickly moved some convicts down into the Derwent River area around Hobart, which eventually became Port Arthur. Now I can see a big lagoon here, that's New River Lagoon. And we're getting a lot of turbulence off those mountains. So as much as I'd love to speed along to our destination, we do need to slow down a touch, just to keep out of that yellow speed range during the bumps. Clouds are lifting a little bit. We're at 2,500, so I've gained 500 feet. Hi there T Bob V, I play trumpet, so when I was making the channel name I wasn't quite sure how much aviation and how much music stuff I'd be doing, but here we are. Not much music stuff and more playing with flight simulators for hours a day. The sim should indeed show the lunar eclipse. That starts in about 1 hour from now. I have seen the lunar eclipse in the sim before. There was one during World Flight, which is quite fun to see. The moon turned red in the simulator. Three minutes till the island. Otherwise the aircraft, yeah, I'm ready for the lockdown. I've got a bunch of toilet paper ready to go. That's all that matters. Got some eggs. And I'm working at home again. Already worked at home today. Won't be back in the office this week. One minute to go. $23 minutes to there. 27. Just penetrating some cloud here, so head back down to 2000 again. Looking for Freeney Lagoon and the Cox's River. There's 2000, just trimming it out. Getting your RA Australia conversion done. Nice. Speaking of RA, anyone see the Jabiru that landed at Narrabeen in North Sydney today? Pretty hilarious. Yet another Rotax engine, a failure, I assume. One wonders if the Rotax engines are the problem, or if someone is treating it like a 172 engine, which is of course a Lycoming. Because the Rotax isn't a 172 and you can't fill it up to the same, you know, different amount of oil, different RPM. Three minutes and we can turn, yeah, up to Bathurst Harbour. So that's the Cox's River there. The Jabber engines, yeah. Anyway, one landed on a beach today, unintentionally. Ah, now you're pointing it out. Look at that. An ex-SAW aircraft. So, now that we know the pedigree of the aeroplane. Yes, I get ya. Didn't look yellow though, so they must have repainted it recently. Because the SAW aviation aircraft are all yellow. Pretty sure that's our bay there. Just want to see things straight down. Look at the detail on that. All the lights are in. Let's tune in. There's a run to wait. Bathurst Harbour traffic. I've gone ahead and jumped in with that, know what I'm doing. 27. Bathurst Harbour traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India is a Cessna 172 at Cox's Lagoon, tracking northbound to Bathurst Harbour. Entering circuit time at 2:07. And we'll be making for runway 30, Bathurst Harbour. Sat Charlito, cool. Hi there, Maddie. Yeah, I'll change the honeycomb quad. I need to have obviously a single throttle and a single mixture. And that's it pretty much. So I've taken bits and pieces off it. Yeah, it's a pretty simple setup for the 172. One throttle and one mixer, and that's it. So about 10 minutes out from landing. On spotting the airfield, we'll pop into the left-hand circuit. Once we land, we'll simulate a night, and then we'll take off in the next morning. Unless everybody wants to take off from here now and fly into the night. I'm not sure I'll be able to do a nighttime approach into Strahan. I think it's got some instrument approaches, but they're all like NDB things. It does have lights. We'll study and see what we can do. Because seeing the red moon would be pretty hilarious. That's horrible for visibility. I can see the mountains on either side here. We're flying straight into the sun. I'll just get him mixed to rich. Only 5 minutes out for the airfield. Just slightly to the right. Bathurst Harbour traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India 1500 on descent 1000. From overhead Cox's Lagoon and estimating time arrival at 3:07. Airfield in sight. I'll just move over to the dead side, then start a left-hand circuit. Bathurst Harbour traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India, 1000 feet on the dead side. We'll be joining left-hand circuit, runway 30. Power back, mixture fully rich. Brakes are released, undercarriage is down, mixture rich. Pump is on. Fuel set to both. Seats and harnesses are secure. So we're on approach. Does anybody want us to continue into the night to Strahan? Or would you rather flip it around to the next morning after landing? If nobody says anything, it'll be next morning. Remember, there may be a red moon rising tonight. Got one vote for next morning. Technically two, because I'm also one. Next morning you'll be able to see more stuff on the ground. So will I. Bathurst Harbour traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India, turning downwind runway 30. Grant Miller's saying daytime as well. Cool, everyone's saying daytime. Cooler heads have prevailed. In the White Arc, let's go flaps. Bathurst Harbour traffic, Charlie Foster India, turning final runway 30. Overshoot. Perhaps 20. And that's all the flaps. Come up next to the other Cessna. Good work, Laura. Hope you'll jump in and enjoy the Vatsimming. It's pretty fun. This stuff's easy because there's no air traffic control at these tiny airfields. So just make general broadcast to make sure no one's around. Okay, park and brake set. Taxi lights are off. Let's get rid of the avionics. Flaps coming up. We're at 1000 RPM. And we'll go ahead and cut the fuel. And here we are at Bathurst. Sorry about that. I hit a delete key at some point and it turned my microphone off. So we've added an extra passenger. Not that you can see them. Extra passenger, a bunch of tents and similar equipment. Let's fly to Strahan. After takeoff from here at Bathurst Harbour, we're going to track out to Port Davey, then along the Davey River up to Strathgordon. We'll fly around the Gordon Dam. We might do a lap of it, and then we'll head on out to Strahan via Macquarie Harbour. Parking brake is set. Master switch is on. Nav light is in, beacon is on. Inch cracked on the throttle. Let's blast the strobe light for a second. Check it out. Nice collection of aircraft here. We have a Cessna 172 with its cowling on and a Caravan, I think that is. So let's go. Mixture is good to go, and (1,000 RPM) comes up pretty well. We'll just stabilize it. Just lean out the mixture until the engine's just about to quit, and then we'll give it about half back. There it is. Avionics. So I'm going to go into the flight plan on the system here. FPL. And the first waypoint, which will be, I think it's YBHH. No, YBHB, sorry. Bathurst Harbour Airport. After that was PDV. As we saw on the way here, we don't need these really if we're doing our proper waypoint timing. But we can, so why not? Why isn't there two of these? There is. There we go. The next one is Strathgordon, which came up as STRA. That's the one. And then our final location, which would be YSRN. That's our flight plan. FPL, and zoom in on the map a bit, and out again. Yeah, that looks right. Cool. I'm happy with that. I just got a message on Facebook. I'll just check what that's about and then we'll leave. Cool. Just need to pick up the Ursa for Strahan because I just noticed I don't have it up. I think Strahan has a AWS, so we might be even able to call them up. Yes, there it is, AWS weather. Has a runway 36 and 18. Has circuits right hand on runway 18. Keeps you offshore. And CSAF 124.2. Won't need that for a little while. Let's go ahead and do a run up. Make sure the aircraft's ready to go. We can just do it right here, blasting straight out behind us. Brakes are on. (1800 RPM). Bring that to the left and to the right. Happy with that. Drop flaps 10. Back to 1000 RPM. You can hear it runs pretty rough down at minimum power. And we'll head on out. Bathurst Harbour traffic. Charlie Foster India is taxiing runway 30 backtrack. Okay, the briefing is most of this will be over land, just after takeoff and passing over the Bathurst Harbour itself. Alright, current time is 50. 56. Let's go. Choke, Bathurst Harbour, Charlie Foxtrot India, departing runway 33. At 65 for the climb. Still got some flap out. There's 75 flaps coming up. And a bit of trim to get rid of that back pull. Landing lights are off. Pumps off. I think we'll need to cap our climb at 2000 again. That's right. Very good looking scenery down here. Given it's the middle of nowhere. Sorry about that. Where did that go? Anyway, 13, 14. We're 2 minutes early. We're going to 4, 3, 2. There's a 1 there. So I did a lap of Australia last year, 2020, and 2019 actually as well. Took a year and a bit in the old sim, FSX, really P3D, and I was using the Orbx version 2 through that entire flight. So if you want to see what it's like, maybe look up those old flights from last year. I do have a playlist of it somewhere. But if you look up Around Australia Musical Aviator on YouTube, you'll probably find some of the P3D version from anything before about August 2020. And that's what the Orbx looks like. Basically the Orbx V2, it looks a lot nicer on the ground. It's not perfect because it's not, you know, Google data like this, or Bing data like this, sorry. But it's a little bit better than this, than the old version. There's a few other things around on it. Some of the airports have, I guess you'd call it, enhancements, although in some cases if you're using other scenery you have to really turn those enhancements off, because then you'll just get weird conflicts where you've got two versions of the same building sitting either inside each other or right next to each other. So it can be a bit of a bugbear to use, to be honest. You have to delete all these sceneries. There's a few files on the internet that you can probably search up in forums and stuff where they've done an automated process and you just run an executable file and it deletes it for you. One big thing that was there was Ayers Rock looks really good, and so did Melbourne City. FS20 is not too bad out of the box. We're flying the box today, so this is all default stuff. This is, of course, this particular Cessna 172 is only available in, I think it was a Deluxe version, or whatever the highest tier one was. If you buy the basic version, you get the G1000 version of the Cessna 172, which is fine, but I'd rather, you know, fly with a six-pack. Cool, yeah, Orbx only, yeah, it'll be fine. If you do have, what's it, OZX, which is the freeware small airports, which I've been using on that run, the first lap of around Australia, then yeah, you might need to delete a few files here and there. But apart from that, it works. And if you're not using those OZX files, then it's nice to have some scenery there. Ah, the specs, dang. Well, instead of spending money on the scenery, maybe save up some money for an upgrade of some sort. If you look into the descriptions of those of the first round Australia that I did in P3D, in the description tab there's a bunch of freeware scenery that you don't have to buy, and it works in FSX, and it worked on my old i5 970 back in the old day. Just need to double check how this valley goes. Yeah, we can run up alongside these mountains instead of going over the top. All the way up until it joins the Gordon River, and then continue along the Gordon River into the harbour. I'm just seeing the tops of mountains hitting clouds, so I don't want to be going over there. Would have been nice to see the dam, but I have a funny suspicion that the dam is in the clouds. Fortunately, we have an alternate route, just following the river. Because you obviously can't get over the top of that mountain because it's inside cloud. Yeah, that's right. Always pulling out a video card. I actually got a video card once from a fan. They sent me the, what was it? 950. That was a nice upgrade for free. Almost free. I paid for postage. That's it. Of course, my current PC is was a new build 2 Easters ago. Easter 19. Yeah, we're not going over the clouds, over the mountains. We'll stay in the valley for now. We might zoom up into the Gordon River Valley to just see if we can get up to the dam. We can always do a U-turn in the canyon and come back if we can't. Sounds interesting. Hokitika and Christchurch. I haven't tried that actually. I'll take a look at it. Yeah, I literally can't see the tops of those hills. There's a lake in there as well. So those hills come up and there's a dam that's created a man-made lake behind it. That's for hydroelectricity. You can see it mostly there. In fact, when you zoom out to a map of Tasmania, the entire south of Tasmania is dominated by this massive lake, and that's essentially a man-made lake. There was quite a controversy in the 1970s about that lake, and another dam that they were going to put in, the Franklin River, I think it was. It almost created the Green Party out of nothing. Two rivers side by side. Let's check which one's which. So what? Yeah, 10 miles from the Gordon River Dam. So, see if we can pick our way up to Lake Pedder. Thanks for that, Laura. Yeah, I have a massive playlist of the old trip. Hundreds and hundreds of hours. We went all the way around Australia. And this trip, which we kind of accidentally paused for 2 months, is still in its early stages. Tasmania is the first state I've visited this one. But the last time we went around the other way, and we started off in Victoria, headed up into New South Wales and Queensland, around the Northern Territory, down Western Australia, into South Australia, New South Wales again, Victoria second time, and then Tasmania for the last state. Anyway, have an enjoyable dinner. Catch you around. Lake Pedder's up there somewhere in the clouds. Hello, Sunstone. Sunstone Leo. Hope you're well. Welcome to the scary location below the clouds and next to mountains that are in the clouds. If you want to do some IFR, you can do some IFR in your car on the top of that mountain. Or IFR walking. IF car. Yeah. Ideally, what I'm wanting to do here is track on north of Strathgordon here, and then just north of there should be the dam. To find it, I'll probably need to find the Gordon River. So probably the next river we come across. And I'm thinking the dam is here. There's another one. Yeah, no, it's there. Definitely there. So the next river we come across should be the Gordon River. Crossing us. And we'll go up the Gordon River, which is to say to the right. I'm sitting here wondering why the aircraft is wanting to turn right all the time, and I just realised I put an extra passenger on, so the balance is a little bit off. Yeah, we could do that. Hey passenger, sit in the middle of the two seats, will you? So what's that hill there? Is that Wilmot Range? I think it is. Anyway, there's the lake that we've been talking about, so let's go in through there. Nice little gap. I can see the water, so I know we can get to it. What would happen if your engine quit right now? Well, we go down there, into the river. That's what we would do. Let's see how this dam looks. Nice road. That's gnarly. Dam looks like a possible disappointment, but the roads look good. Yeah, I think the dam is just like a cliff. It's down there somewhere. There's our dam. We're on the wrong side of it. Can we get to the other side? That's not too bad actually from this side. Pretty tight to get in here. It's not like Warragamba Dam, which you can just sit on top of and see. No, actually pleasantly surprised by the look of that dam. A little bit odd looking, but the circle of it looks pretty much right. Now let's get out of here. The amount of terrain is just awful. I think it's like 1,000 feet high at that point. The river flows pretty fast down this hill anyway. So it comes off the dam and then keeps going down. We're not going to go down, we're going to go up. Good power, mixture coming up rich. And we can pretty much follow the river all the way into Macquarie Harbour. And now that we're on the climb, I wouldn't mind setting up the autopilot just to hold us while we dial the weather. Ah, there's 2,000 there. $25. Oh. Why is it diving? I don't know. Give it one more go. Nope, just wants to nosedive us. So the autopilot is off limits. Have to figure out some other way to hold our attitude. I'm thinking rudder as an aileron, rudder and trim. We'll get out of that mountain's way, follow the river into the valley, trim ourselves out. And it'll just be trims and rudder. Trimming up, thanks. There we go. Two, 8, 3, 7.
Automated Weather Information Service, Strahan Airport, time 0922 Zulu, wind 260 degrees magnetic at 19 knots, visibility 25 kilometers, present weather, no significant weather, clouds scattered 2,600 feet, scattered 3,300 feet, broken 8,700 feet, temperature 11, dew point 9er, QNH 1013 hectopascals, rainfall last 10 minutes nil.
Cool, that's Strahan. We've got wind 260 at 19, QNH 1013. Temperature was on 6, was it 4? One of them. It's below 0 anyway. Above 0, it's not freezing. Okay, coming off the rudders. One's Franklin and one's Gordon. I think the inner one is Gordon. The two rivers that run almost side by side down their own little valleys. Okay, runway 260, should be runway 18. with the right hand circuit. Yeah, Gordon's the inner side, and the Franklin River goes up that way. There we are. So you'll see a little gorge down here. This is where the controversy was for the dam that they were building in the 1970s. Then the federal government got involved in in a state government thing, and they're opposed to each other. So it was the LNP party in Tasmania wanting to build the dam, and they'd started building the dam, and the Labor Party nationally opposed it. And then it was put into law that they weren't going to be building the dam, but then a lot of people that used to do wilderness bushwalking and stuff were reporting that they were still building the dam, and they denied it in Parliament. And so in something that possibly breached the Constitution of Australia, the federal government sent an F-111 Aardvark fighter bomber equipped with cameras to fly over and take photos over a period of like once a day for a couple of weeks, to see them doing the construction bit by bit. But deploying, you know, Defence Force assets against Australians. And that's the site right there of that dam, of that thing that did not become a dam. The dam to be built south of the confluence of the Gordon and Franklin Rivers. Franklin River below Gordon would have been right in there. In fact, probably right there, or somewhere in that bend anyway. I agree, Microsoft Flight Sim is gorgeous. So is Tassie. Look at that tannin, kind of like makes the sand a little bit darker brown. Indeed, not long to the eclipse. It would have started turning red already, and the eclipse is in what, 2 hours? 1.5 hours? Something like that. Yeah, it's about 1.5. Should look good. My aircraft will be on the ground within the next half, so 17 minutes out. Make it call to Strahan in a second or two. Hi there, Aaron. Good to see you. How's COVID round 4 treating you? Strahan on 124.2. Let's make a broadcast now to the Unicom. Traffic Strahan. Charlie Foxtrot India is a Cessna 172. We are 30 miles to the southeast of Strahan, estimating Strahan at time 4:05. You have to wear masks at school. That sucks. We have to wear masks at work, and then we decided not to go to work. Came from the top. Fortunately, our supervisor said, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea, let's just work at home. Then the IT failed, and then I didn't really work at home. I kind of sat at home all day doing menial tasks because they haven't set up my profile for the new work that I do. I essentially changed jobs last week to a different role, and all of my profiles for working at home are still set up for the job I was doing 3 weeks ago. So it was an interesting day trying to get that sorted out on the phone to computer technicians, essentially just getting them to give me access to various programs. Most of the morning was taken up with, hi, I'm looking for ticket number WOR1533. Is there any update to that? Yeah. Scorpion 007. So was I. Working from home is probably a much better idea than going into the city with a bunch of people on a train all hanging out together. That's not really a good idea. I mean, unless you're trying to spread the thing, which we aren't, because we, you know, aren't crazy. And that there is the harbour that we're looking for, Macquarie Harbour coming up. I'm going to make a beeline for it now. No need to follow the rivers. We've got an aeroplane, not a boat. Strahan traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India, Cessna 172 is 25 miles to the southeast of the field. Estimating circuit time 4.6. Make it 4.6. Yeah, it's great when you go in and, yeah, even the people that are meant to be enforcing the mask rules aren't wearing masks. I've got plenty of masks. I bought a box of 50 masks in February, and I'm probably about halfway through them right now. I've also got a cloth mask that I just wash every second day and make sure I have it around. I usually have one in my pocket, one in my bag, and one on my face, which eventually goes into a different pocket. Jacket pocket, pants pocket. So Macquarie Harbour, there's a little place called Farm Cove. There's a game reserve up there, up in this space here. Ah, yeah, lots of seaplanes. Seems like a pretty interesting place if you're into this kind of travel thing. Wouldn't mind visiting some parts of Tassie. To be honest, I wouldn't mind visiting some parts of other parts of Australia as well. It'd be more fun to do it in an aeroplane than a car though. Do it a bit like Stefan. Fly to an airport in your Cirrus and then jump out on the bike. Bike down to the nearest, whatever. You get those people that camp next to their airplanes as well. Normally not a Cessna, but something a bit more rugged. Land it on a beach somewhere and pop out a tent. Or some random field. One of those tents that are kind of built into the airplane wing. Yeah, Strahan does have a bit of history. A lot of it convict history and a bit of it whaler history. Terrible salmon farming there, Strahan. Alright. Need to make a call at 10 miles with an altitude and a nominated runway. So, Sarah Island, I think that one. One of the most brutal parts of convict history. Basically, if you were too bad to stay, so if you're a poor English person who got arrested for a crime, you'd be sent off to Sydney, and if the people in Sydney thought that you were too dangerous to be kept around, you'd be sent to Hobart. And if you're too dangerous to stay at Hobart, you'd be sent to Port Arthur. And if you're too dangerous to stay at Port Arthur, they'd send you over here. So that's where these guys are. These are the criminals that are too dangerous to be kept around the other criminals that were too dangerous to be kept around the other criminals. Treated pretty brutally, and yeah, ended up here. For the term of his natural life. Yeah, that's right, Diego, 77. That's a book about the convicts that was sent here. And I can kind of see why they would have sent you there to this space, because this is like
Strahan traffic,
an island surrounded by water
to the east at 8,000
offshore of another island.
Circuit time 55 traffic strong.
Ah, we've got other traffic. Strahan traffic, Charlie Lima Sarah, say again. Charlie Foxtrot, India, is Cessna 172, 14 miles to the southeast of Strahan at 2,000 feet, estimating is Strahan at time 4:08, and we'll be joining a right-hand downwind runway 18. Nice waves there. Both comms are in. Aircraft's pretty stable at the moment. I'll have to start descending soon. Seems a pity. So I think we'll track along to the Kelvy Channel and then make a right hand turn up the shoreline, and we'll hopefully be able to spot the airfield off to our right. Field is spotted. I'll bring it down to 1,500 till we cross the center line, then we'll continue to descend. Mixture coming up. Brakes are released, undercarriage is down, mixture is coming up rich. Fuel pump on. Fuel set to both. Seats and harnesses are secure. Very nice dingo. Yeah, I think I'll go out in just a little while to have a look. Jump into the car, drive down to the park. I won't bother taking any photos of it because I know that'll fail. I've tried it before. Need a better camera. Okay, a little bit more power to settle into the 1,500. Barely even need to touch the, well, certainly not the yoke, but you don't even need to really touch the trim, just to add power. That'll bring the speed up, and the trim will be set for maintaining altitude. Strahan traffic. Charlie Foxtrot India is joining crosswind runway 18. Then a right hand downwind. So they put it out onto a right-hand circuit, just to keep us away from the town. Power's off. I'm going to maintain about 110 knots, maybe 100 knots. There's 1,000. End of the runway. Hello, Titan Inspector. Hope you're well. We're just about to end. Came in rather late, but good to see you here. Strong traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India, turning base runway 18. Flaps 10. Strong traffic, Charlie Foxtrot India, turning final runway 18. Full stop. Indeed.
Strahan traffic, Tango Sierra Romeo, descending through 2500, joins overhead, join left downwind runway 36, traffic strong.
Traffic Strahan, Charlie Foxtrot, India, Cessna 172, turning around to backtrack, runway 36. Thanks, Mario. Hopefully the next trip won't be in 3 months like this one was from the last one. Anyway. I do believe Sunday we have a Tasmania... No, next Monday. Milk Run Monday, Spilled Milk Run, is a Tasmania event. So we might even get a centre controller. Might even do some IFR. Doing a IFR pickup. It's a Mr. or something.
Full stop, traffic strong.
Strahan traffic, Charlie Foxtrot, India, vacated all runways. Busy here. Where shall we go? Thinking over there. That's fuel Bowser. Yep, over that side.
Strahan traffic, Tango Sierra Romeo, short final runway 36, full stop, traffic strong.
Thousand RPM. Parking brake is set. Yeah, will do. Come on. This dude's a bit close to my prop. Where's our inbound? I think I can hear him. Oh, he's on the ground already. Cool. It's looking like a Mooney. I think he doesn't have the same scenery as us. It's going to park inside another Cessna 152 over there. Yes, Lachlan, I think 3 months' time. Just kidding. I'm going to try and make it Monday. Because next Milk Run Monday is a spill down in Hobart. We don't need to go to Hobart, we're already in Strahan. What we need to do is head up to the likes of Smithton, Wynyard, King Island, that kind of thing. So if we can get to King Island by Milk Run Monday, I'll be quite happy. By the end of Milk Run Monday. And we probably need to do it IFR, so we might want to take something a little bit bigger than this. So yeah, that's the plan. Maybe on the weekend get Charlie Foxtrot India up to Smithton, and then on Milk Run Monday head on up to the island, the big King Island. Possibly even further. Might even be able to get all the way up to Moorabbin or something. Anyhow, that's it for this stream. Hope you enjoyed it. You can see the links below for any of the scenery, including this Strahan scenery. As you probably are aware, if you have Microsoft Flight Simulator, these little parked aircraft, the fence, the cars and stuff aren't in the default. So you might want to download that. Hello Spencer, didn't see you until now. And Beats, I'm aware of Project Fly. I know what it is. Tret, tent, yes, cool. Anyhow, have a good week for you guys in Melbourne. Lucky if you're working at home. Bad luck if you have to wear a mask all day. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.